Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews, my latest film for you guys here now, and the latest of the films that did go wide release in theaters, didn't make much money or found its way on the internet. The latest of these is a documentary. This happened to premiere earlier this year at Sundance, and has now made its way to Showtime of all things, because I never knew that Showtime produced documentaries, basically acquired documentaries, but this is called Cusp, and this is co-directed by Isabel Bethencourt and Parker Hill, and this tells the summertime documentary about three teenage girls, all of whom happen to be 14 and 15 years old, and one has to wonder, I guess some earlier reviews have talked about whether or not the directors are sort of exploiting these girls. I don't really come to believe that they are exploiting these girls, although you might have a different view of whether or not their problems are being exploited for a mass audience to have. Basically, this tells three girls, as we see in the beginning, in which a couple of these are being pushed on a swing while the guys that they are near shoot guns off in the distance. And basically, they live in this small Texas town where their days are occupied by drinking, smoking a joint or a blunt, and going to parties or going to bonfires. We see the long dirt roads, we see the dusk skylight of a Texas evening and afternoon, and obviously the one lit Dairy Queen. And I think what most films often try to portray is that teenagers are wise beyond their years. And trust me folks, I would love to be a teenager when I was that young and be wise beyond my years. But of course, alas, this documentary puts a cold dose of reality in that assumption. Three girls here are Brittany, Autumn, and Alani, and all of them have their own specific set of troubles. Basically, Brittany is like, I want to leave my hometown when I turn 18, and her parents more or less are alcoholics, and she never wants to be at home because, let's face it, who wants to be at home when their parents are alcoholics? Her choices are not bad choices, they're just, hey look, these are your parents that you happen to have. Autumn, well, her basically thing is that she was molested, a friend of her mother's. Her mother didn't do anything about it, and then alas, when things went south, the mother abandoned the family and she's sort of left to take care of a sickly father who very much cares for her, I guess, and then she happens to also be in love with this boy. And then we have Alani, who basically, she has that mother who's the cool mom that will smoke and drink in front of her and share that joint or his drink with her. As her father is the problem, and that because he is a war veteran who has anger and PTSD issues, and we don't see him, but we clearly hear him off screen going on a tear on a couple of occasions. So often we often hear the term, oh yes, this person peaked in high school, which I know is sometimes a term that most people don't like using, but one has to wonder about these girls and whether or not these directors would want to follow up with them in many more years to see if their lives turned out for the better or for worse. Again, at least one of these girls says, oh yeah, I hate teenagers. Congratulations, that's basically every other teenager out there. Heck, I hate my own generation because I think my generation is a generation of people growing up on screen, don't know how to communicate with one another. And then these girls are, and quite frankly, yes, I miss my childhood to a certain degree because I love those long summers. I love having nothing to do, and the summer seems endless, although I had swim meets more often than not. And obviously the boys they hang out with, yeah, those are 19 and 20-year-old boys. One has to wonder about the Romeo and Juliet laws in Texas. And these girls, quite frankly, are blunt about, the sex and, how they said, one girl said, oh yeah, I lost my virginity in a car. Well, first and foremost, I've never understood why anyone would want to have sex in a car. I mean, just do it in your bed. That's basically it. Conversations here about consent. I mean, at least one girl here says, oh yeah, there was one guy that she knew that forced herself on him and then had sex with her, although, hey look, though that line is somewhat blurry, which I can't believe I just said that to a certain degree. I often wonder about the coming generations and whether or not they're able to live in a world that might pass them by, you know. So in the end, folks, what I'll say about Cusp, I'll give this a matinee rating. It's currently playing on Showtime, and that's basically it. So, folks, Cusp, have you seen this? What did you think? Please put everything in the comment box below here, folks. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe. Enrich yourself with knowledge. I'm Michael Rich at Richard2 on Twitter. I'll see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.